Then we have how to represent number on abacus. Suppose I have got here number 1467, which we read as 1467. So how I'm going to represent it on abacus? Okay, I'm going to place 7 beads at the ones place, 4 beads at 6 beads at the tens place, 4 beads in the hundreds column, and 1 bead in the thousand column. Okay, like we have here exercise 1.2. Okay, in this we have to write the number representing on the abacus. Just now I've explained you how to represent the numbers. So here what we do, will count the number of beads at the ones place or at the ones column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to write here 6. Then how many beads are there in tens column? 1. Here number of beads in 100 columns, 4. And in 1000 column, 2. So my number will be 2416. Okay, children? Like this, you have to write the number by counting the beads in the particular column. Now coming to the next topic, successor and predecessor. Okay, the number that comes just after a given number is called the successor of that number. Like here we have the successor of 1 is 2. Okay, and successor of 99 is 100. The number which comes just after the given number. Okay, now the number that comes just before a given number is called a predecessor of that number. So for example, here the predecessor of 2 is 1, the number which comes just before. So predecessor of 15 is 14, and so on. Okay, children. In this exercise, you were supposed to write the successor and the predecessor. Okay, children. Coming to the next topic. We have got here comparison of numbers. Okay. To compare any two numbers, count the number of digits in both the numbers. You have to count the number of digits in the given numbers. Okay. And the number which is having more digit is greater. Like here I am having two numbers, 867 and 1867. So you can see here that 867 has got how many digits? 3 digits. Whereas 1867 has got 4 digits. So which number will be greater? The number which is having more digits. That is 1867. You suppose if I'm having two numbers with same digits. 460 is a 3-digit number and 450 is a 3-digit number. In that case, how you are going to compare? You will compare the first digit, which is the same. Now you will compare the digit at the tens place. Here it is 6 and here it is 5. So as we know that 6 is greater than 5, so number 460 will be greater than 450. Like this, we can compare the given numbers. Suppose if I have two numbers with same digits. Same digits means same number of digits. Like it is a 4-digit number. It is also a 4-digit number. So we'll compare the digit at the thousands place than at the hundreds place. But suppose if the digit at the hundreds place is the same, then we move on and compare the digits at the tens place. Okay, children? Here's the exercise related to this. Then we have ascending and descending order. What do we mean by ascending order? Means writing the given numbers from the smallest to the largest. You can see here, it's just like climbing up the stairs. It is also known as increasing order. The other name for ascending order is increasing order. Then we have descending order, which means arranging the given numbers from largest to smallest. It means moving down these stairs. Okay, can you see here, children? So this is the ascending order from smallest to largest, and from largest to smallest it is descending order. Now forming largest and smallest number. In order to form the largest 4-digit number, you have to arrange the given digit in descending order. For forming largest 4-digit number, what you will do? Arrange the given digits in descending order. You have to form a number with the given digits, no? So digits will be given to you. Like here I am having 1, 2, 3 and 4. So arrange in descending order means largest to smallest. And for finding the smallest 4-digit number, what you are going to do? Write the given digits in ascending order means from smallest to largest. Okay, so 1 will come, then 2, 3 and 4. So 1234 will be our smallest 4-digit number. We have got here the exercise related to this. Digits are given and you have to form the largest number and the smallest number. Then we are having here even and odd numbers. Okay, so what are even numbers? As we have studied in your last class, that if I can form a pair of 2, okay, pair of 2 or exact groups of 2, then it is known as an even number. Like here you can see 1 pair, 2 pair and 3. Means I have divided it into exact groups of 2. So they are called as even numbers and they ends with 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. And what about this? Numbers that cannot be divided into exact groups of 2. Means pairing into is not possible in that case. They are known as odd numbers and they ends with 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. Okay, the last digit will be 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. Just like here, if we have to circle the even number, then what we are going to check? The digit at the ones place. Okay, as it is 5, so this 2015 will be an odd number. Okay, but if the digit at the ones place is 6, so it would be an even number. This way you can find out the even numbers and the odd numbers. Now we come to our today's topic, children, rounding off numbers. Okay. So please watch this video. But first of all, children, let me explain you why we need this rounding of numbers. Okay. Suppose if you went to a birthday party, okay, and when you came back home, your mother asked like, how many children were there in the party? So what would you say? About 40, about 50, okay. So what is this? This gives the idea of this gives the value of the how much people were there in the party. Let me take one more example. Like if you are going to a zoo and you stuck in a traffic jam, okay? So most of you ask your parents, no, like how much time like is there to reach to the zoo? So they may say like about 20 minutes, about 25 minutes. So what are these? These are rounding numbers which gives us the answer or how much and how many. Okay, children? So rounding of numbers makes our calculation easier and faster. That's why we need to study the rounding of numbers, that how we are going to round off the numbers. But one more thing which is important is rounding off number is the approximate value. It is not the actual value. It gives us the approximate value. So let me show you a video to make it more clear to you children.
Numbers. That is interesting. Catty decides to put the balls on a number line, one at a time. Catty starts.
Sorry children, there was some internet issue. So let me start the video again. Just give me a second please. Sorry for keep you waiting. Just give me a second children. I have got this. Okay children. So here's the video. Let me play it once
Catty
again.
has found 3 balls. Look, the balls are marked with numbers. That is interesting. Catty decides to put the balls on a number line, one at a time. Catty starts with the rounding 10 ball. Now that's interesting. When Catty puts the ball on a number, it always rolls to the nearest multiple of 10. So, what the rounding ball does is that it rounds any number to the nearest 10. 34 is closer to 30 than 40. So 34 is rounded to 30. The numbers that end with 1, 2, 3, or 4 are rounded to the earlier multiple of 10. Similarly, 38 is closer to 40 than 30. That's why 38 is rounded to 40. The numbers that end with 6, 7, 8, or 9 are rounded to the next multiple of 10. But what happens when Catty places the ball on 35, which is equidistant from 30 and 40? Here, the ball rolls to 40. So, when a number ends with 5, it is rounded to the next multiple of 10. Now, Catty takes the rounding 100 ball. Can you guess what it does? That's right. It rounds the number to the nearest multiple of 100. 235 is closer to 200 than...
Okay children. So here we have seen that rounding of numbers to the nearest tens. So what are the important points which we have seen here? If the digits for rounding of a number to the nearest 10, which digit we have to check? The digit at the ones place. Okay children? If the digit at the ones place is 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, then what we are going to do? Change the ones digit to, we have to change the ones digit to 0, other digit will remain the same. But if the digit at the ones place is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Means greater than 5 or 5. Then we add 1 to the tens digit and changes 1 digit to 0. Let me take an example. Here I have got a number 32. So first I am going to check the digit at the ones place for rounding off to nearest 10. Here the number at the ones place is 2, means less than 5. So I change it to 0, keeping the digit at the tens place same. The rounding of 32 is rounded off to 30. Here I am having another number 38. So digit at ones place is 8, means greater than 5. So I'll add 1 to the tens digit and I'm going to change the digit at ones place to 0. So 38 is rounded off to 40. I hope, children, that you are getting it. But what about 35? What about 35, children? For 35, here the digit at the ones place is 5. It means that I'm going to add 1 to the tens digit and I'm going to change the ones digit to 0. So 35 is rounded off to 40. Okay, 35 will round it off to 40 and 32 will be rounded off to 30 and 38 will be rounded off to 40. Okay, so these are the two rules which you have to keep in your mind. Now coming to the next thing, that is rounding to the nearest 100. Again, I'm going to play that video.
$300. So 235 is rounded to 200. You see, when the second last digit of a number is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, the number is rounded to the earlier multiple of 100 because it is nearer. What about the number 287? It is closer to 300 than 200. So, it is rounded to 300.
So children, from here we have seen that in order to round off a number to nearest 100, we have to check the digit at the tens place. Okay? Similarly, if the digit is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, we will change both the tens and ones to 0, keeping the other digit same. But if the digit is 5 or greater than 5, then we change both the tens and the one digit to 0, but this time we are going to add 1 to the hundredth digit. So here I am having an example, 124. So we check the digit at the tens place, as it is 2, means less than 5. So changing tens and ones digit to 0, keeping the digit at hundredths place, 1 remains the same. Okay, children? So you have to follow these two rules while rounding off the number to the nearest tens and the nearest 100. Children, I hope that this is clear to you all. The worksheet related to the even number and odd numbers and rounding off the numbers has been forwarded to you, children. And today I'm going to upload the worksheet for the chapter number 1. Okay, so you can go through it. Please do it on your own. So today we have completed chapter number 1, that is large numbers. And in case of any problem, children, you can contact me so that I can solve your problem. So,
Is a unique
is there any doubt, children?
No, ma'am.
Children?
No, ma'am.
So today I have
No, ma'am.
So as we have taken the recapitulation of whatever we have studied till now, and I hope children that you will all the practice work given to you children.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Children, you have to study daily and revise whatever has been taught to you. Okay? So that you will be connected. Otherwise, what happens, children? Everything will be washed off. Okay? Practice is must. So please do the practice work given to you, all the worksheets, and I'm going to even share the solved worksheets. So you can check your answers, whether you have done correct or not. Okay? Okay, children. So this is all for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye, children.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.
Children,
Bye, ma'am.
you are free to ask your doubts, beta, okay? You can call me or you can message me whenever you are having any problem.
Bye.
Bye-bye, children.
Hello.